Howdy, hello, hi, welcome everybody. My name is Big Citrus and let's get into it. So, for those of you who have watched my Apex Legends, the dead game that came back to life video, you would know that I've praised this game a lot in the past. Like, I've been making primarily Apex content on this channel, and I've been having an absolute ball with it. I've talked about how, compared to other Battle Royales, Apex has been able to keep up in areas where all of them have failed. Keeping up with their community, keeping up with consistent updates, and keeping up with keeping the competitive scene fresh, while also making the game easy to get into as a casual player. But, today, we're going to be talking about how, as good as Apex Legends is, and how I still think it is indisputably the best Battle Royale out right now, I still think the game has a myriad of issues that need to be resolved if this game is going to truly stand the test of time. So, that is what we're getting into today. Now, let's immediately jump into what everyone's going to be saying. A perfect anything doesn't really exist. Like, you can't really make a perfect Battle Royale.
You're correct, sir!
Of course, I don't think you can make a perfect video game. I don't think you can make a perfect anything. But I think you can get as close to perfection as possible without actually meeting it, if that makes any sense. So things can be perfect in their own ways. And as much as everyone loves Apex Legends and likes to praise this game, there are also a lot of people who will just constantly, let's say, shit on this game for no reason other than the fact that they like other video games. Take people who are fans of something like Warzone or Fortnite or any other shooter out right now. They will crap on Apex Legends because, well, it's just something that's different and they don't like it and they don't like seeing it be successful. I think we all know people like this. But some of those people do bring up like reasonably good points on what needs to change about the game if it's going to keep players happy for longer than any other Battle Royale has ever done, and how it can truly go down as an all-time great video game. Some people might say it's already done that, but why not try and make the game a little better? So, I have concocted, basically, 10 points that I think could make Apex Legends the perfect Battle Royale. I'm not going to waste any more time. And I really want you guys to genuinely leave your opinions down below, because I got a lot of opinions in this video from my community Discord. I asked everyone in there, so join in the community Discord if you'd like to be featured in a video like this, and let's see how we can make Apex better than before. Now, I know a lot of people are going to see the title of this video and immediately get upset saying, oh, Apex isn't going to die unless specific changes are made to it. And here's the thing you got to remember. When Apex first came out, it was seen as an amazing video game, a huge triumph in the Battle Royale genre, and it's so cool to see Respawn finally have this huge level of mainstream success. But even like right around when Season 2 dropped, even before that, people were leaving the game to go try out all the new fancy toys. I talked about that in the other video as well. And then here's the thing, Apex has been good this whole time, they've barely changed the game, but it was just other things taking their interest, because a lot of people who are casual Battle Royale players only care about things like functioning servers, good battle pass, new progression systems, and new characters and new maps. And trust me, we will talk about all of those, but first we need to talk about the servers. So let's get the big thing out of the way right now. The servers. I don't think anyone is really going to argue on this point. The servers in Apex Legends are completely mediocre. I know everyone likes to say, oh yeah, Respawn is a small indie company, cut them some slack. I know that that's a meme and everything, but like at this point, we need to have a serious talk about the servers. Like, they're better than they used to be, sure. But the fact that when Season 9 launched, they were not prepared for it at all is kind of sad. Yes, I know a lot of people want to say, oh, pandemic this, pandemic that. But with how much money they're making on this game and the profit that they are getting, I really feel like having servers should be a priority to EA. I'm sorry, are those like other EA servers for Battlefield 5? Because we know no one's playing that game. We need to divert them to Apex Legends, come on. EA Respawn desperately need to do something about the servers, because the fact that we are still having crashes, we're still susceptible to DDoS attacks after all this time, after almost 2 years, is insanity. This is something that you would expect out of a Battle Royale game that has been out for, what, maybe 3 or 6 months, but at this point, it needs to be better. Respawn, I think, is an industry leader in innovative game design, but if they can't have good servers, then that is going to make other companies seem better by comparison. spammers. I don't really have much else to say about this point, but just Respawn. I know it's like the #1 complaint you guys get, but come on. The flow of content updates. If there's one thing that I've always never really been able to defend Apex Legends for, it is the lack of content that comes out. As much as I love Respawn, the amount of content we get isn't really too great. Like, I understand they like to take their times on things and make sure they come out right. They've done a lot better than Treyarch and, Raven Software and Infinity Ward have with Warzone. They've done a better job, but it's still not what we should be getting. Like, yes, we've gotten 3 new maps, quote-unquote, ever since the game has come out, and we've had a bunch of changes, and we have actually gotten a steady flow of at least 1 new character per season, which is more than I can say for a game like Overwatch. And we've been getting new weapons at a pretty consistent pace, too, and I don't think Apex is a game that needs to change that much, and I think they should just work on perfecting the things that they have in the game. However, it doesn't really feel like Apex has ever had too many big updates that have really expanded the game. Arenas is really the first thing we've gotten that really felt like we're taking parts of Apex and we're changing them into something new. Like we're finding a new variable in this game. We're finding something new and interesting. And let's just face it, the content flow we get is not very good. Patch notes don't come out that often, which I think is a big bummer. This is honestly, in my opinion, more of a minor complaint, but in order to keep the game alive, they need to just throw something at us. Now, I'm not talking about Fortnite where they release a new random broken item in the game every single week, but just things like war games, like new LTMs every, month or so would be cool. Just something. Or just more new events where you have something to do in-game that you can, earn an item for. Just, things like that could be cool. I don't know. I'm not the game expert, I'm just telling you what I think I myself in the community has been asking for. Ranked. This one's pretty vague, but ranked, oh boy. So, if you've been following a lot of, Apex Legends pros on Twitter, you would know that they've been complaining about ranked very recently, but they've been complaining about ranked for a long time. I think ranked has needed an overhaul for a while, but here's the thing. I actually do really love the Apex Legends ranked system. I think for a Battle Royale game, they definitely did the best that they could. I like it. Now, I think for, the lower levels of the game, bronze to gold, there's not really a lot of things that need to be changed. I think the way ranked works from bronze to gold is fine, but it's specifically when you hit the plat and above barrier that I think problems start to, come about. It's not actually that hard to get to plat. I myself am a plat 1 player. I'm not amazing at the game or anything, but I think I'm pretty good. But solo queue is an absolute nightmare. I can be in a plat 1 lobby and I will somehow be getting kids who are silver 4 on my team, and it's not like they're smurfs or anything. They're actually silver 4 players. I've told people this, and some people say, oh, that's impossible, that literally can't happen, but I have seen screenshots and gameplay of a bunch of other people saying that they have had things like this happen to them too. Now, I am, by all means, not a pro player, but the #1 thing I'm seeing people complain about is it doesn't feel rewarding to win a game. Getting a bunch of kills is actually pretty easy, but winning a game is much harder. 90% of the games that you'll win at the higher ranks, you won't have a lot of kills. You'll have maybe 3 to 5 kills and that's it. But a good portion of the time, you will not be getting a lot of kills because winning isn't about getting kills. Winning is about positioning, it's about decision making, it's about movement, it's about playing every single situation correctly. Look at the AGLS recently. A lot of people were really sad that TSM did not win. One minor mistake costed them the entire tournament, and that was it. They made one mistake, and that cost them a tournament. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to say, well, that's not the same as a ranked game, but I'm just trying to illustrate my point. The main thing that pros want done is they want an overhaul of how the current ranked system works in terms of ranking up and deranking. A lot of people have said that certain high-level players, like if you're a Predator rank, for example, should not be getting kills on people who are in gold lobbies, and I definitely agree with that. 9 times out of 10, a Predator squad is going to win against even a Platinum level squad, so why are they getting kill points for that? It doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. Also, I feel like the game really encourages you to try and play in lower elo lobbies because because you get way less points for surviving than you do getting kills, which in a way does make sense, but that's what the game is about, is winning. A lot of players at higher levels, hell, even at plat level, because you're losing 36 per match if you don't get anything done, are simply just farming for kills and then just basically taking what they can get once they have the maximum amount of kill points. And personally, I don't think there should be a maximum amount of kill points. Like, this might be a controversial opinion, but if you're in a diamond lobby and you're getting 20 kills and like 5 assists, you should be getting as many points as you can for that instead of there being a limit on it. I know the point of that is they don't want players to rank up too quickly, but the truth is, like, one of two things is going to happen. Either you are legitimately that good and you deserve to be, and you'll shoot way up the ladder, and then you'll be playing against better players and see how you do, or if you just had an incredibly lucky game, you'll go back down to where you were anyways. Skill-based matchmaking definitely also needs an overhaul. I think people definitely need to do that. Skill-based matchmaking is a problem because even in pubs, it just feels like you could be a diamond level player and you could be getting people who are predator on your team, which shouldn't be happening, or you could be getting people who are silver on your team, which also should not be happening. And even unranked, it feels the same exact way. I don't think they should change the rank system too much, but they definitely need to change the way that you D-rank and rank up. I also think it's stupid how once you get to the next tier, like if you go from silver to gold or gold to platinum, you can no longer fall out of that rank. I think that really encourages people just to not really give a shit when they're queuing and not try at all. Because, well, they can D-rank, it doesn't matter. The good chances they get a bunch of kills and they rank up, or they get no kills and they just go to the next match. That's why solo queuing is mainly such a nightmare. On to the next point. Character balance. Let's face it, sometimes you want to play crypto, or sometimes you want to play fuse, but if you actually want to get to a high rank, you're forced into picking specific meta characters and using specific meta weapons to actually climb, because characters like crypto and fuse are not good right now. Let's just face it. You can argue with me on that point all you want, and you can disagree, but you're wrong, so yeah, let's just move on. No, I'm joking. A lot of people who are pro players and a lot of people who know a lot about like game design have said that the best way to handle this issue is actually nerfing the overpowered characters and making the game more skill-based, which I agree with. But the problem is there's only so much you can nerf these characters to where it feels like their abilities are almost completely useless. Characters like Gibby and Revenant are insanely annoying to fight right now. It feels like with the press of a button they can just completely negate any damage you had on them, and it just feels like the fight resets almost when a Gibby's in a good area, they place the bubble down, or Revenant pops a totem and silences you. It's insanely frustrating. I simply just think the cooldowns on these things need to be longer because they're already pretty long, yes. Well, how long fights can go on in this game, it doesn't really feel like it's that long, especially when ultimate accelerants are a thing. Not saying remove ultimate accelerants, but I just think the cooldowns need to be longer, perhaps just nerf these abilities overall. Because everyone's like, oh, buff Fuse, make his abilities do more damage, and I could agree they could do a little more damage. It just feels like, if they were to buff Fuse a lot, I just wouldn't want this character that is just pure grenade spam running around. If they were to buff Crypto's drone and make it to where he could like pick up loot and bring it to people, that would be insanely frustrating, just because then people would just be sitting around looting, camping in a building, and then you would just have this drone that moves fast. Like, it would just be too much. It would just be too much. The game should go back to being more skill-based. That's why a lot of people hate caustic mains, is because it feels like they let the game kind of play for them instead of actually playing the game themselves. Now I'm on record as liking, pre-made turtle comps and playing caustic, but I understand where those people are coming from. It's not fun to fight against, and it doesn't really feel like there's a lot you can do in a lot of those situations to negate that. We should focus on making the game more about gunplay and movement and positioning, instead of making it about, whoa, when are we going to place this Gibby bubble down? When are we going to jump pad onto these kids? Are we going to portal out of here? Oh, we need to scan so we can know where literally every kid is around us instead of just actually having game sense. I like the characters and the abilities, but I feel like they do need to be toned down because that's how you get meta picks. A lot of people, you'll just say running like a Bloodhound, Octane, and a Gibby at higher ranks, just something like that, because it's very easy to get out of situations, and it's also very easy to play safe, but it's also very easy to play very aggressive. It's just too much variety, which actually sounds like a good thing, but then when there's like 14 characters in this game and only 3 of them are picked, I don't like that. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Moving on to the next point. the Battle Pass, cosmetics, and the in-game store. This is more of a point for the casual players or people who are just really into skins and everything, but I think the current way that Respawn sells skins to the players is just not okay. Like, this one legendary skin should not require me to buy $25 worth of Apex coins to get if it's something that can already be earned in the game. Wouldn't it just make more sense if you could buy 1,200 crafting medals for like $10? Because then that entitles you to any legendary that's in the game. Wouldn't that just make sense instead of having to lucking into getting those crafting materials out of an Apex pack or the Battle Pass? Also, I have never liked Respawn's Battle Passes. I think they have always been incredibly lackluster. They've gotten better as the seasons have gone on, but if we're being honest with ourselves, this is pretty ridiculous at this point. The fact that you really only get like 3 brand new, like genuine, like legendary skins feels cheap. And they just stuff it with a million voice lines and sprays. I just don't like it. But the main thing people have complained about is the amount of money that Respawn will charge for just a simple recolor of a skin that someone who has minimal experience in Photoshop could do in 2 minutes. I agree with this point a lot, and I like that you're able to purchase these things for legend tokens. You know, the design of the skin is good if you had an alternate color version. Wouldn't you want to spend legend tokens on it? And also it feels more rare that way. But also, why can't people just use legend tokens to buy the skin without having to have the original skin first? And everyone is saying that all skins should not be limited and should be attainable in-game at any point. I kind of agree with this, but I also think that having limited edition skins makes them feel more valuable and gives you more of an incentive to go out and collect them. But I do feel like Respawn should provide more of a way for these skins to be more obtainable more often. This is mainly a minor point, but this would definitely help the casual players who really like collecting skins and getting good items really get more into the game. Just remove white loot from the ground. Just do it. Just remove all white loot. I don't want a white helmet on the floor. I don't want white body armor. Just remove it. I like that now you spawn in with these things, but just remove them from the ground. Like, oh, whoop-de-doo, a white shotgun bolt. Like, just remove them. Just remove white. Just do it. Just please. Add more game modes and different player number game modes. I kind of touched on this earlier with adding more LTMs, but I think it would be really cool if we could finally get solos, or we could get squads, or we could get like some more LTMs, just anything like that. Because let's face it, a lot of people don't only want to play trios. As good as the game is, I know it's mostly designed for trios. Imagine if you had a 5-man mode in Apex. I know that might sound ridiculous to you because you imagine how much fun that would be. Just 100 people jump into the map, 5 squads. It would be absolute chaos, and it would be genuinely really fun, though. And I know they probably experimented with things like this, and it didn't really work that well, but fuck it, why not let us try and see how we feel? Come on. And also, I know solos would also be great. Just make the ring move faster so it feels less slow and campy. Just make the ring move every minute, and then it won't be that big of an issue. Jeez. I don't know if this has been 10 points, honestly. I just had 10 points at the start of the video. I don't know what number we're on, so yeah, but this is my final point, I swear. Weapon balance. I actually think the guns in Apex are incredibly balanced, but there is one major area where I feel like Respawn has always done kind of a bad job. The Spitfire and the Devotion are insanely easy to use and are 2 of the best guns in the game. Why can't guns be easy to use but not as good as guns that take more skill to control? For example, the R99 is something that you can absolutely destroy people with and has a steep learning curve because of how fast the bullets come out and the pattern in which they fire. You have to be very good with recoil control. I think the R99 is a perfectly balanced weapon. You still have some weapons that just don't work. The Mastiff, for example, got nerfed way too hard in my opinion. The P2020 is basically useless now. It has no reason to exist, honestly. Weapons like the Alternator just feel completely outclassed by every other SMG or light ammo option. Shotguns are incredibly inconsistent, and I feel like snipers need not necessarily a buff, but I feel like they just need some changes. Like, I feel like it's too hard to get sniper ammo, it's too hard to find sniper attachments. I feel like a weapon specifically like the longbow is just straight up bad. Like, why would you pick up most of these weapons when something like the charge rifle exists? Because it's so much easier to use and you can consistently do more damage with it than something like the Sentinel even. I guess my ultimate point is that a lot of weapons that feel very hard to use just don't actually feel rewarding when you could be using something like an R3. Like the 30-30. Why use the 30-30 when you had the G7 Scout unless using the shatter caps on it? I'm fine with guns being hard to use, but they need to be more. They need to do more damage and be more rewarding. Also, the Prowler needs to go back to ground loot, and the Devotion Turbocharger needs to go in the care package. Okay, thanks, bye. So yes, those are the changes that I think need to happen to Apex in order to make it this perfect battle royale and truly shut down all these stupid Fortnite kids who just type dead game plus ratio in Twitter replies. A lot of pros will be pleased by the changes that I'm talking about, but also a lot of casuals will be pleased by the changes as well. But please, genuinely, tell me your opinions in the comments. I actually do read these comments and I do reply to them, and I would like to know what you guys think needs to be done to Apex to actually help save the game. And of course, you want to be featured in another video like this, maybe soon, please join my community Discord. I like to talk in there. I'm actually very active in it, and we have a lot of active people in it too, so come be a part of the Citrus Squad, yeah, alright, and follow my social links. I'm done doing the YouTube thing. That was pretty much all the changes that I think need to be made to Apex. I hope you guys agree. Maybe I wasn't too wrong. I guess we'll find out. Bye.